guys, it's Victor for JNEWS, and I'm wearing this t-shirt today because I thought it's kind of spooky, you know, and because of today's subject, I thought it would be only appropriate that I wore something just a little bit spooky because today's topic is ghosts. Did I scare you there? Did I scare you? Okay, this is the story. This comes from Fukuoka Prefecture, a private high school, co-ed high school called Yanagawa High School, Yanagawa高校, I suppose. In English, Yanagawa高校, in Japanese. And what happened was, a few days ago, they took a few of the students out to the mountains. I think it's Mount Hiko was the name of it. No connection to Hiko Simon. And they were kind of, you know, getting the students to exercise together and study together. I think it's often done with new students to help them make friends and stuff. It depends on the school, of course. I know it's often done in September. I didn't know it was done in June. But anyway, it's kind of a bonding thing and a way to, you know, catch kids up to speed and such. Anyway, they were doing something called radio taichou, which is one of the exercises. It's not academic, of course. It's just they put on their athletic, you know, clothing and go out and turn on the radio, and at the same time every morning all over Japan, it's something like 6 o'clock, 6 in the morning. I did it once, but it's really too early. If you go to any park in Japan, though, if you come to Japan, go to any park early in the morning and you'll see old people doing it, and some young people too, but it's mostly old people. Well, the whole country is mostly old people, but anyway, they were doing these exercises, and one of the girls got sick and she fell down, right? Taichou kuzusu, fall down, get sick. Anyway, they skip up a couple days later, they're back at school, and during first period, that same girl gets sick, and two other girls in class observe this, and then they start feeling sick. They also get sick. Then there's a break. The girls start telling all the other girls what happened. Oh, did you hear about that? These girls? Oh, wasn't that the same girl who got sick? Oh. Long story short, 26 girls get sick. None of the boys get sick, only the girls. And wow, school panic. It's leaked out onto the internet. They close the school temporarily. And people just think it's a rei or ageru, a ghost or a spirit or an evil spirit. And they even interviewed, it was even on the news, and they even interviewed a doctor who said, well, it's kind of hard to believe that that's it. You know, it's kangai nikui, which means it's difficult to think that. But I thought it was interesting that he said kangai nikui, difficult to think. Why didn't he just said it's impossible? Or that's silly? Or why did they even address that theory? I mean, it just seems ridiculous that you'd even have to tell them that. And they even said, well, there's an unscientific theory that this is what happened, but it was just so ridiculous from a Western point of view. But you know, that's part of life in Japan, and you know, the idea that ghosts exist is more acceptable here. Yes. Anyway, at the end of the day, they decided that it was心理学的に同調行動と呼ばれる現象, which it's really hard to translate because none of these words, one of these words doesn't even exist. But psychologically speaking, it's considered a synchronized behavior. The phenomenon of we must call this phenomenon of synchronized behavior. When I saw it, it started getting me. It got me to thinking. It got me to thinking about how Japan is a kind of group-oriented society, and people feel comfortable in those groups. Now, of course, we don't know what happened with in this particular case. They did say that, the doctor did say that this is what happened, this phenomenon, and that girls are highly susceptible to it, which of course seems kind of sexist from a Western point of view. And at the end of the day, in the West, we would just call this like mass panic or mass hysteria. But you know what I mean, it does exist, of course, in the West. I mean, so someone panics and then everybody panics and then suddenly people are trampled, you know. So it does exist, but this seemed a lot more subtle. Like one person got sick, someone thought it's a ghost, or put two and two together. Oh, same girl got sick in the mountains. Oh, a ghost must have possessed her. She must be possessed, and they brought her back. This theory came back, and everyone gets sick, you know. Just crazy, huh? But anyway, it's kind of interesting that this happened in Japan, and how that theory is possibly acceptable here. I don't know if that would be acceptable in other countries. You guys got to tell me that, because I have no idea. But anyway, that's the JNEWS. It's kind of interesting. There's a link to it. I did all this. Actually, my coworker, Yukari, who does Maggie Sensei, turned me on to this story. and we went through the video and studied it, and then right when I'm getting ready to make the video, Rocket News puts out something kind of explaining it also. For those of you who want to read who are lazy and want to go to the story, just click on the link below in the description, and you can go to the Rocket News. And there's also a link below to the Japanese video. Okay, now pretty interesting story. Tell me what you think about this. For those of you who are studying Japanese, I'd like to point out some vocabulary words that are kind of interesting. Okay, sakebigoe. Sakebigoe is just a scream. Sakebigoe o ageru is to scream. First period would be ichijikanme. Ichijikanme, the first period. Kiseiを発する. Raise. Kisei is like a really weird voice. Kisei. Kiseiを発する, so to give out a strange scream. Taichou furyoを訴える. Now I've never heard this combination. I've heard taichou furyo, which just taichou of course is your body condition. Furyo means bad, negative. But when you want to say I feel bad, you use the verb uttaeru. So taichou furyoを訴える. So basically you're saying I'm sick. Somebody says, hey, I'm sick. And when you get sick, you can say taichou kuzusu, to get sick. Now, when they were examining this, they made a point of it in the video to say it's hikagakutekina theory. Hikagakutekina ryu, or they use the word hikagakutekina, meaning unscientific, which is kind of interesting because of course it's unscientific, it's ghost, right? But they had to point that out. They had to point out that, well, we don't have an expert saying that it's ghost, but we think it's ghost. The expert did say 心理学的に同調行動と呼ばれる現象. So it's a phenomenon. We call this phenomenon, the nearest English translation would be synchronized behavior. Psychologically speaking, it's synchronized behavior phenomenon. Okay. But something that we can understand, it's almost the same in Japanese, is shuudan panikku, mass panic, or shuudan hisuterii. I got to pronounce that right because I don't want to pronounce it in English. Hisuterii, hysterics, yeah, shuudan hisuterii. So mass hysterics, as you would say. A couple other words that are useful for those of you studying Japanese. When someone gets sick or falls down, we say taureta. And this is interesting to me. Ghost in Japanese is rei, just rei, but an evil ghost or an evil spirit is akuryo, an evil spirit. Here's a very interesting expression that you may be able to use someday. 彼女は悪霊に取り憑かれた. She was possessed by an evil spirit. Woo! Other cool words that you can learn today are kaiki-tekina, which is bizarre or mysterious or spooky. Kaiki-tekina, that's an adjective. And then panik shougai, or panic disorder. A disease that catches on like this would be, well, something that's contagious or moves on or catches on is called, the verb is utsuru. And utsuta, of course, would be the past tense. And they pointed out that only young girls got this because they are kanjusei. They have kanjusei, which is sensitivity, which apparently this kanjusei men don't really get or don't have or don't possess, unless you're gay, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, that's your story. Kind of a weird one. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.